There's a strange curse surrounding Marvel's first family. The Fantastic Four, four iconic characters, one unforgettable origin story, and four attempts to bring them to the big screen. And somehow, it never quite works out. Why is it so hard to adapt the Fantastic Four? Let's start with the facts. We've had not one, not two, but four attempts at a Fantastic Four movie. First, the 1994 Roger Corman version, infamous, unreleased, and basically made to retain the rights. It's campy, cheap, and kind of charming in a so bad it's good kind of way, but it was never really meant to succeed. Then came the Tim Story films in the mid-2000s, Fantastic Four and Rise of the Silver Surfer. To be fair, these movies weren't disasters. In fact, they're maybe the most watchable of the bunch, but they're also deeply forgettable. They went for a tone that tried to sit somewhere between Sam Raimi's Spider-Man and Ghostbusters. Lighthearted, a little cheesy, and with a dash of New York charm. You can feel the attempt at giving the FF some personality, Johnny's hotshot antics, Ben's short temper, Sue and Reed's will they or won't they tension. But it never fully lands. Raimi's Spider-Man worked because beneath the camp was emotional sincerity. Ghostbusters worked because it never tried to be a superhero movie. It was a comedy about blue-collar guys doing paranormal pest control. The Fantastic Four films, by contrast, felt trapped in between tones. Not serious enough to feel grounded, not funny or weird enough to be memorable. Doom was a corporate villain with lightning hands. The action felt flat. The emotional beats barely scratched the surface. It wanted to be fun, but never quite found a clear identity. Then, Fan Four Stick in 2015. A gritty reboot that took everything too seriously. It stripped away the fun and optimism in favor of body horror and brooding. The result? A lifeless film, chopped up by studio interference and tone-deaf direction. So here we are, again, waiting for another reboot. Pedro Pascal, new director, new vision, same challenge. Maybe this time it'll work. Maybe they'll crack the code. But Marvel's Fantastic Four reboot is already falling apart, and it hasn't even released. Early test screenings call it a tonal mess. Overstuffed with CGI, and strangely centered on Sue Storm, while the rest of the team barely registers. Then there's the female Silver Surfer, a confusing, unnecessary change that adds nothing and only distracts. This unfortunately isn't shaping up to be the comeback Marvel needed. Instead, it might just be the final warning that Disney cannot and will not change their creative policies that have destroyed every single franchise in their catalog. Because adapting the Fantastic Four isn't just about special effects or casting. It's about tone, story, and heart. And until a film gets all three right, Marvel's first family might just remain their most unfilmable. And while there's hope, there's also fatigue, because every time we start over, again. So what's going wrong? Part of the problem is structure. The Fantastic Four aren't just one hero with a supporting cast. They're a team, each with their own powers, personalities, and arcs. And most adaptations try to establish them all at once, often while also explaining space travel, cosmic rays, Victor Von Doom, and family dynamics. That's a lot of setup to cram into 2 hours. Then there's the tone. Too silly, and it feels like a Saturday morning cartoon. Too dark, and it betrays the optimistic heart of the characters. They're not Avengers. They're not X-Men. They're explorers, scientists, a family. Their best stories aren't always about punching aliens. They're about pushing the boundaries of reality, time, and space. And that's hard to capture in a blockbuster formula. Maybe, just maybe, the Fantastic Four were never meant to be movie stars. Maybe the answer is in an episodic TV series. Think about it. In a series format, you'd have the time to introduce each character, to show Reed's obsession with discovery, Sue's emotional intelligence, Johnny's reckless charm, and Ben's tragic transformation. You could slowly explore their relationships, their powers, their failures. You could earn their status as a family. A TV show would also give breathing room to the weird, high-concept sci-fi stories that the Fantastic Four are known for. Multiversal madness, alternate futures, cosmic threats, stories that need more than 2 hours in a final boss battle. But there's one more problem. Every reboot chips away at the audience's goodwill. With each failed film, there's a growing sense of diminishing returns. The origin story loses its magic when it's told and botched over and over again. We never get to move forward. We're stuck in a loop. It's like trying to run a marathon but getting pulled back to the starting line every few miles. At some point, even the most dedicated fans stop showing up. Oddly enough, one of the most successful Fantastic Four stories isn't even called Fantastic Four. It's The Incredibles. Brad Bird's 2004 Pixar film nails everything that the FF adaptations struggle with. A family of superpowered individuals, conflicting personalities, a sci-fi world that's both stylized and grounded. But most importantly, it gives us a clear point of view. We experience the story through Bob Parr, Mr. Incredible. He's the emotional core. His midlife crisis, his struggle with purpose, his desire to recapture the glory days. All of that grounds the film, and through him, we meet the rest of the family. Contrast that with most Fantastic Four films, where we're introduced to all four characters more or less simultaneously. No clear protagonist, no central arc to hold the group together, just exposition, powers, and fight sequences. Reed Richards should be the emotional entry point. His obsession with science, his guilt over the accident, his inability to emotionally connect with those closest to him, it's rich material. But most adaptations shy away from centering him. They treat the team as one big narrative blob, instead of choosing a lens through which we understand them. The Incredibles knew that to care about the family, we had to first care about one of them. And the Fantastic Four movies haven't quite figured that out. But with every failure, one thing is still clear. Marvel's first family deserves better. Better scripts, better vision, and a team behind the camera that understands what makes the Fantastic Four fantastic. Whether it's cosmic wonder, scientific exploration, or the importance of family, the potential is still there, waiting to be done right. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. What would your ideal Fantastic Four movie look like? Until next time, stay curious, stay critical.